17 tahun berdiri, Polkesma telah berhasil memperoleh akreditasi B, terkualifikasi sebagai kualifikasi 1 Politeknik Kesehatan. Pencapaian tersebut merupakan gambaran dari penerapan sistem manajemen pembelajaran dan pemanfaatan teknologi informasi yang cukup pesat. Turut mewarnai pertumbuhan ilmu kesehatan, Polkesma menyelenggarakan pendidikan, program studi diploma gizi, program studi diploma keperawatan, program studi diploma kebidanan, program studi diploma analis farmasi dan makanan, program studi diploma perekam medis dan informasi kesehatan, program studi diploma asuransi kesehatan, program studi diploma teknologi bank darah, dan program studi sarjana terapan promosi kesehatan, serta program studi pendidikan profesi, dietitian, nurse, dan bidan. Program studi tersebut tersebar dalam 7 kampus yang berlokasi di daerah Malang, Jember, Lawang, Blitar, Kediri, Trenggalek, dan Ponorogo. Polkesma memiliki 4.500 mahasiswa yang dipersiapkan melangkah mewujudkan cita-cita luhur. Untuk menghadirkan atmosfer yang mendukung perkuliahan, Polkesma menyediakan fasilitas yang memadai, mulai dari ruang kuliah yang nyaman dengan media pembelajaran modern, laboratorium fungsional terintegrasi yang didukung teknologi canggih, perpustakaan terpadu dan berbasis online, unit bimbingan konseling, asrama, masjid kampus, gazebo, kantin, fasilitas olahraga, hotspot area, dan secure parking. Dirancang sebagai perguruan tinggi vokasi, Polkesma telah mengukuhkan diri menjadi barometer perkembangan pembelajaran ilmu kesehatan di Indonesia. Disokong penerapan kurikulum pendidikan tinggi vokasi dengan persentase lebih dari 60% praktikum dan 40% teori yang akan mempertajam atau mengasah keterampilan mahasiswa dengan praktik di laboratorium dan wahana praktik. Polkesma turut mengimplementasikan metode pengajaran yang inovatif, menyenangkan, dengan konsep enjoy learning, serta menerapkan Internet-Based Test atau IBT dalam ujian dan pembelajaran dengan e-learning. Pendidikan berkualitas dibentuk dengan penanaman nilai-nilai yang dihadirkan melalui 220 tenaga pengajar dengan kualifikasi magister dan doktoral yang sudah tersertifikasi. Dengan berbagai disiplin ilmu serta sebagai teladan dalam kehidupan sehari-hari, Polkesma turut menanamkan karakter dan etika kebangsaan, serta unggul dalam keprofesian guna menghadapi masyarakat ekonomi ASEAN. Selain akademik, Polkesma turut mempersiapkan mahasiswa yang percaya diri dengan kemampuannya melalui unit kegiatan mahasiswa, mengembangkan minat bakat mahasiswa mulai dari bidang seni, olahraga, sains, bahasa, dan kerohanian. Disinilah langkah mewujudkan cita-cita dimulai dengan menyalurkan kebebasan berekspresi. Polkesma mendidik mahasiswa agar setia kepada NKRI dan memiliki sikap mental berkarakter dengan pendidikan bela negara. Polkesma semakin menunjukkan keberhasilan dalam mencetak bibit-bibit unggul dengan prestasi-prestasi yang diraih baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Kerjasama dalam dan luar negeri, baik dengan institusi pendidikan kesehatan maupun institusi pelayanan kesehatan. Keberhasilan juga tampak terlihat dari sebaran dan peran alumni Polkesma di instansi kesehatan hingga bertaraf internasional yang tersebar di kawasan Asia, Eropa, hingga Amerika dan Australia.
in Polkesma. My name is Debbie Salvamanga and I'm the international student of Taipei Medical University. I'm very proud and grateful as a Polkesma alumnus. I learned a lot of knowledge and valuable and memorable experiences when I was student at Polkesma.
For medical record and health information student, keep spirit because our profession is very much needed and important.
My message to all alumni and my junior, you can do it. Thank you.
I am proud to be an alumnus State Health Polytechnic Malang. Keep encouraged working and good Polkesma. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes Malang, the truly vocational education of health.
Okay, izin masuk. Before we start the agenda, I would like to check the presence of the grand finalists. Jadi teman-teman dari masing-masing perwakilan prodi dan official bisa bilang hadir atau komplit. Seperti itu ya. Mulai dari oratory, dari D4K3.
Hadir, komplit.
Alright. D4 Promkes.
Hadir.
Alright. D3 Kepma.
Hadir.
Sarjana Terapan Gizi.
Komplit.
Alright. D3 Anafarma.
Hadir.
Oke. Lanjut ke news anchor. Dari D3 Keperawatan Trenggalek.
Hadir.
Oke. D3 RMIK.
Hadir.
Oke. Sarjana Terapan Kepma.
Hadir, Kak.
Oke. D4 Promosi Kesehatan yang news anchor.
Hadir, Kak.
Oke. D3 Keperawatan Malang.
Hadir, Kak.
Oke. Lanjut ke storytelling. D3 RMIK.
Hadir, Kak.
Oke. D4 Promosi Kesehatan.
Hadir, Kak.
D3 Keperawatan Trenggalek.
Hadir, Kak.
D3 Keperawatan Lawang.
Hadir, Kak.
D3 Keperawatan Blitar.
Hadir, Kak. Hadir, Kak.
Alright, ini semua sudah komplit, official dan partisipannya. We would like to start the event, tapi ini masih dalam proses ya. Jadi stay in the room, karena acara akan segera dimulai. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Yang terhormat, Direktur Poltekkes Kemenkes Malang, Bapak Budi Susatya SKPMkes. Yang kami hormati, Wakil Direktur 1 Poltekkes Kemenkes Malang, Dr. Muhammad Wildan, A. Perpen MPD. Yang kami hormati, Wakil Direktur 2 Poltekkes Kemenkes Malang, Bapak Bernardus Rudi Sunidya, MPH, yang kami hormati, Wakil Direktur 3 Poltekkes Kemenkes Malang, Dr. Ganif Juwadi, SST SPD MKes, yang kami hormati, Kepala Bagian Akademik dan Umum, Bapak Setio Harsoyo, SKP MKes, yang kami hormati, para Kepala Unit, para Kepala Subbagian, para Ketua Jurusan, para Ketua Prodi, Dewan Juri Polkesma English Competition 2020, dan para Ketua Ormawa. Yang kami hormati, peserta dan panitia Polkesma English Competition 2020 yang berbahagia. Puji syukur marilah kita panjatkan kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala yang telah melimpahkan rahmat serta hidayahnya sehingga pada hari ini kita dapat mengikuti acara Grand Final Polkesma English Competition 2020. Sabtu, 7 November 2020 dengan tema Cross Your Limits, Show Up Your Confidence and Light Up the World. Perkenalkan, saya Yoga Dwi Kamadani, selaku pembawa acara Grand Final Polkesma English Competition 2020 pada hari ini. Susunan acara pada hari ini adalah: pertama, pembukaan. Kedua, mendengarkan lagu Indonesia Raya dan himne Polkesma. Ketiga, doa. 4, laporan Ketua Pelaksana. 5, sambutan Direktur Poltekkes Kemenkes Malang. 6, Grand Final Polkesma English Competition 2020. 7, hiburan. Cara ke-8, pengumuman pemenang lomba Polkesma English Competition 2020. Dan acara yang terakhir, penutup. Demikian susunan acara pada hari ini. Acara pertama, marilah kita mendengarkan lagu Indonesia Raya dan himne Polkesma. Audio visual akan ditayangkan pada screen. Kepada seluruh audiens diharap menyesuaikan. acara selanjutnya marilah kita berdoa. Untuk doa dipimpin oleh Saudara Ahmad Syariat Habibullah. Kepada Saudara Habib, dipersilahkan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Marilah sejenak kita menundukkan kepala untuk bermunajat kepada Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, agar kegiatan kita hari ini diberkahi dan bisa berjalan dengan lancar. Doa akan saya pimpin secara Islami. Untuk yang beragama lain dimohon untuk menyesuaikan. Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma sholli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman. Pada hari ini kami hendak menyelenggarakan acara Polkesma English Competition 2020 dengan tema Cross Your Limit, Show Up Your Confidence and Legs Up the World secara online dan dengan memohon ridho dan izin-Mu. Berkahilah semua langkah dan perbuatan kami serta ilmu yang bermanfaat kepada kami semua. Ya Allah, Ya Wahid, Engkau yang Maha mempersatukan kami, mohon perkuatkanlah persatuan di antara kami. Kami ingin kuat dalam persatuan agar dapat bermanfaat untuk agama, negara, dan bangsa ini. Ya Allah, Ya Ghafur, Engkau yang Maha Pengampun atas segala dosa. Ampunilah dosa kami, dosa orang tua kami, dan dosa para pendahulu kami. Tempatkanlah kami dan mereka semua ini dalam rahmat dan ampunan-Mu. Ya Allah, Ya Mujib, Engkau yang Maha mengabulkan doa. Perkenankanlah doa dan permohonan kami. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Disampaikan terima kasih. Acara selanjutnya yakni laporan Ketua Pelaksana Polkesma English Competition 2020 yang akan disampaikan oleh Saudari Dwi Lestari Agustiningrum. Kepada Saudari Dwi Lestari, dipersilahkan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Yang terhormat, Direktur Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes Malang, Bapak Budi Susatya, SKP Mkes. Yang kami hormati, Wakil Direktur 1 Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes Malang, Dr. Muhammad Wildan A. Perpen MPD. Yang kami hormati, Wakil Direktur 2 Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes Malang, Bapak Bernardus Rudi Sunandia MPH. Yang kami hormati, Wakil Direktur 3 Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes Malang, Dr. Ganif Juwadi, SST, SPD Mkes. Yang kami hormati, Kepala Bagian Akademik dan Umum, Bapak Setio Harsoyo, SKM Mkes. Yang kami hormati, para Kepala Unit. Yang kami hormati, para Kepala Subbagian. Yang kami hormati, para Ketua Jurusan dan para Ketua Prodi. Yang kami hormati, Dewan Juri Polkesma English Competition 2020. Yang kami hormati, para Ketua Ormawa. Dan yang kami hormati, peserta dan panitia Polkesma English Competition 2020 yang berbahagia. Puji syukur marilah kita panjatkan kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala yang telah melimpahkan rahmat serta hidayahnya, sehingga pada hari ini kita dapat mengikuti acara Grand Final Polkesma English Competition 2020. Perkenalkan, saya Dwi Lestari Agustiningrum, selaku Ketua Pelaksana PEC 2020. Mohon izin melaporkan kegiatan PEC 2020. Tujuan diadakannya kegiatan ini adalah untuk mengasah dan membina skill ataupun bakat yang dimiliki oleh mahasiswa Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes Malang dalam bidang bahasa Inggris. Terdapat 3 cabang lomba, yakni oratory, news anchor, dan storytelling, dengan total peserta 53 peserta. Perlombaan ini diikuti oleh setiap prodi yang ada di Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes Malang. Dengan rincian peserta, oratory 18 orang, news anchor 18 orang, dan storytelling 17 orang. yang telah mengikuti tahap penyisihan sebelumnya dan didapatkan 5 besar yang akan melanjutkan ke babak grand final. Dan hari ini kita semua akan menyaksikan jalannya babak grand final. Semoga acara ini dapat berjalan dengan lancar sampai akhir acara. Tak lupa saya ucapkan terima kasih banyak kepada seluruh Dewan Juri yang telah berkontribusi dalam menyukseskan acara ini. Terima kasih kepada seluruh panitia yang telah berusaha dengan keras dalam membantu proses berlangsungnya kegiatan ini. Dan terima kasih atas keikutsertaan untuk para ofisial dan peserta yang telah meramaikan kegiatan PEC 2020. Saya mewakili panitia memohon maaf apabila dalam berlangsungnya kegiatan ini terdapat kekurangan maupun kesalahan. Mungkin hanya itu dari saya, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Disampaikan terima kasih. Selanjutnya kita akan memasuki acara inti, yakni pelaksanaan lomba Grand Final Polkesma English Competition 2020 yang akan dipandu oleh Saudari Rizky Rahmalia Bahtiar selaku moderator pada acara hari ini. Kepada Saudari Rizky Rahmalia Bahtiar, kami persilahkan.
Thank you, Yoga, for the opportunity. Good morning, the honorable judges, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Polkesma English Competition 2020. First, I would like to say congratulations to all the grand finalists for making it to this round. I'm Rizky Rahmalia Bahtiar from the Nutrition Department 2019. As a representative of committee, I'll be responsible to lead the grand final round of Polkesma English Competition 2020. Today, we have 3 competitions categories that have passed the preliminary round from 18 participants to 5 participants in each competition, which are oratory, news anchor, and storytelling. Before we proceed further this morning, I would like to read out loud the rules for today's competition. First, each grand finalist should be present from the beginning until the end of the grand final. Second, every participant in the Zoom meeting are prohibited to unmute themselves during the video presentation and could unmute when permitted. Third, each grand finalist has 7 minutes of video presentation and 5 minutes feedback from each judges for oratory and storytelling, and 5 minutes video presentation and 5 minutes feedback from each judges for the news anchor. And last, all of information such as links and others can be accessed via the chat. Without further ado, let us begin with the final round of oratory. Welcome to the final round of oratory. It is now my pleasure to introduce our awesome judges today. Today we have Mr. Hairuddin, Mr. Yulis Irham, and Ms. Devinta Puspitaratri. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to attending this special event. Now let's start it with video presentation from the first grand finalist, Anastasia Rosalia Sigit Savitri from Diploma for Occupational Health and Safety Study Program.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I thank God for giving health and time to share common language at this time. So, my name is Anastasia Rosalia Sigit Savitri. Allow me to share a little common language for today. There's one thing that makes me wonder about the mindset and comments of others. Sometimes when you see your friends who is crying because they see their parents fighting, other people's response that is a normal thing. They said, just like that. Just like that. It's normal in my home. Or maybe, if that happened, I don't care. Okay, another thing, like you see a crazy person. Some people will say disgusting, dirty, crazy. Words like that may seem normal. What I mean is, yeah, there's crazy person, but if you use your mind as a human person, you will think that people like that need help because they are mentally ill. The disease will not be just seen. But what exactly is mental disorder? Mental disorder is an event in life that leaves a large impact on a person's personality and behavior. From the definition, the signs can be seen, right? But will other people be aware by just reading one sentence and 14 words? Maybe not. So I will give you a few signs such as mood that change rapidly, feeling sad for weeks or maybe months, hallucination and behave unnaturally. And with what I say about a few signs, will they be aware after hear it? Maybe, but they will still say like crazy person, especially when that person have hallucination or unnatural behavior. But do you still think that crazy person are disgusting, dirty? Okay, let's move on to the cause. Biology and psychology. Biology factors. Okay, disorder of nervous cell in the brain, accidental brain damage, long-term drug abuse, and for psychology factor, traumatic events such as violence and sexual harassment, and then losing a parents by time in childhood, divorce or death by spouse. Maybe biological factor can be taught in theory like doctor or nurse, but psychological factor, can you talk in theory like doctor or nurse? Definitely not. And here from the psychology factor, will you still think that people with mental illness are a normal thing? Maybe for someone who is less knowledgeable. And there are still many people who is things normal things because they have gone through that time, such as argument with parents, unhappy childhood, or maybe have been violent, and they just get through it with I don't care. And what about the other people around you? Can you get through like you don't care about the situation? Maybe you can only help them as friends, best friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, or family. With what? By giving love so that they feel cared for. Give them a hug so they feel warm. Give them praise so they doesn't feel low. Ignore them to stay up. And maybe those are little things you can give to them. And my hope, after I give this language, you can be aware how about important others people feeling, about how important to think before you speaking or behavior to doing something. For example, being a netizen in social media. If you want to insult someone, hold it first, okay? Because not everyone can accept it. You understand? I mean, life is simple, but you have to choose. Do you who you want to be? I mean, be a good person or a bad person, and what your choice will affect in the future. Please try to understand other people's feeling so that nothing bad happen in the future. For example, suicide, using alcohol or drugs, limiting yourself and others. So, thank you for your attention. Sorry if there are many wrong words or behavior that often. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Such a great performance. Moving on to the second grand finalist, Muhammad Khairul Muadib from Diploma for Health Promotion.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable all the judges, ladies and gentlemen whom I respect. There is no more beautiful word to say in this bright moment. Accept, thanks and pray to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala Because of His mercies and blessings, everything can be performed without any troubles and obstacles. And we never forget to convey salawat and salam to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has changed from the darkness to the brightness with Islamic religion. Today, I want to deliver my speech entitled Maintaining Our Mental Health During Pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, the positive number of coronavirus victims in Indonesia are more increased. Its spread cannot be controlled because it has already spread widely in the community. The Indonesian government has officially announced the regulation, namely lockdown, in various regions in Indonesia. That tends to urge us to do a self-quarantine and self-isolation. Therefore, every human's activities are limited and must be done at home to reduce the positive number of coronavirus victims in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, today, the most important things during self-quarantine and self-isolation are the human's mental health. As we know, during self-quarantine and self-isolation, we must adapt to these new habits such as social distancing, physical distancing, work from home, study from home, and so on for our daily life. But the problem is, not all humans can adapt it. They feel bored, stressed, and fed up with all of this. Because during self-quarantine and self-isolation, they cannot meet and gather with their family, friends, neighbors, and even also with their boyfriend or their girlfriend maybe. Yes. They must be able to live independently and do their work at home with an online system which is sometimes constrained with the networks and signals. Besides that, every day a lot of media have reported the positive number of coronavirus victims in Indonesia. This matter makes the Indonesian people stressed and scared. Moreover, this mental health was compromised. This disease is often neglected by the common of the people, but it has a big impact for them. For example, they are worried about their future life after the pandemic over, because many of them have been fired by the company and they had to find a job that can accept them. Everything has changed and we must maintain our health mental. Ladies and gentlemen, I have some ways how to make us enjoy our life during pandemic and maintaining our mental health during pandemic. The first is sorting the information. Limit your times to reading, hearing, watching the news about the victims of coronavirus in Indonesia, whether from television, social media, to reduce the anxiety. Even also, don't shut yourself out completely from the important information. Sort the information that you receive critically and wisely. Get the information about the coronavirus pandemic only the trusted sources. Ladies and gentlemen, the second is maintaining our communication with the people. Take the time to communicate with the friends or family, whether via text message, WhatsApp, or video call maybe. It can reduce the pressure that have you felt so that you can enjoy your life and maintaining your mental health. And the last is breaking the bad habits. Smoking and consuming alcoholic beverages can interfere with your physical and mental health. Besides that, the bad habits that also need to be stopped are not getting enough rest and staying up late. If you don't get enough rest, you will experience anxiety more easily and your mood become volatile. Ladies and gentlemen, maintaining our mental health is very important. I believe if we can good care for our mental health, I believe we can enjoy our life during pandemic and become productive. Well, I think that's all my speech. I hope my speech is useful for us. Thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Muhammad Khairul Muadi, for the great performance. Next, video presentation from the third grand finalist, Sintawati Nabila Dewanti from Diploma 3 Nursing Study Program.
Hi, I'm Sintawati Nabila Dewanti. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all doing great and feeling great. So, considering the current situation of this pandemic, when all people are locked in their houses or maybe live far away from their homes, could make us feel stressed, depressed, or anxious. And I'm here today to talk about mental health. As we all know that last month, on October 10th to be exact, is known for Mental Health Awareness Day. Basically, it means we all should raise the awareness about mental health issues around the world. And we should bring down the walls of stigma and start to educate ourselves and others about what mental illness really is, so that we can provide a better help and support to those who struggle with mental illness, especially during this pandemic. Infectious disease outbreaks like COVID-19 can be very scary and could affect our mental health. Although restrictions has begun to ease since mid-May, many people still spend their weeks at home and may be still unable to meet their friends or even their family members, and while others still continue to struggle with their health-related anxiety. This pandemic can stir up all sorts of feelings like fear, anxiety, or stress. A little stress can be helpful, like maybe when we think our hands is dirty, or we think that we might bring the virus. It can be the motivator of us to do self-isolating or doing hand hygiene. But high level of stress could affect either our mental and physical well-being. Taking care of our body and our mental health is always important, but doing so in the middle of pandemic can be really tricky. So the question is, how do we maintain our mental health? And that's why I'm here today to give you some tips on how to maintain our mental health during pandemic. So the first thing you can do is trying to start your day well. I think the first thing most people do right after they wake up is checking their phone, right? Even maybe some of you do that too. And me myself sometimes do that too. Like I try to check my phone to clear some notification, but then I end up watching some videos on YouTube and I didn't even bother, so I just watched the video. Well, that's not good because that will only distract your mind. So instead of checking our phone, maybe we can start our day by doing some mindfulness exercise such as notice three things around you, because it can help you to check in with how you're feeling. This mindfulness exercise is well known to make people feel calmer and cope better with stress. How to do this mindfulness exercise is before you get out of the bed, you can try to notice three things on what you can see. Maybe it's your blanket, maybe it's your clock, or it's your window. And then notice three things on what you can hear. Maybe it's the sound of ticking clock, or maybe it's the sound of singing bird. And finally, notice three things on what you can feel. Maybe it's the warmth of your blanket, or it's the coldness of the morning. And now, the second thing you can do is get planning. Although it's very tempting to stay curled up in bed, but creating some positive routine can make you motivated. Scheduling for me is so important because it helps me to achieve my goals and my priorities. Besides, it will make me harder to procrastinate. Maybe you can try to start your day by waking up early, even if just by 20 minutes or 30 minutes earlier than usual, and then going for a walk with your pet maybe, or doing some exercise, because that's good for either mental and physical well-being, as well as connecting to other people too, because it can help you to release some good hormones like dopamine and serotonin. And now, the third thing you can do is stay informed but not overloaded. I often find myself quite distracted by social media and caught up in social media sinkhole. And guess what? Everyone was talking about pandemic on all local social media platforms. We could get overwhelmed by instant news updates because some of the news we read can be true and some can be false. Instant news update can make us feeling anxious because we couldn't differentiate what's the information we need and the information we think we must understand and we need. So how do we avoid reading some false news? We can get information about this pandemic from legitimate sources such as World Health Organization from their website, and it can help you to minimize the fear or anxiety caused by reading some false news. And now the fourth thing you can do is getting ready for bed. Good quality of sleep makes a huge difference on how you feel, but most people find it hard to get a good sleep. Because feeling worried or anxious because of reading some false news maybe or you overthink too much can make you harder to fall asleep. So how do we get a better sleep? You can try to aim for a regular bedtime by avoiding too much social media exposure, avoiding caffeine before bed, and not drinking or eating too much before bed. And surely the tips will help you to get a better sleep. I hope these simple daily tips will help you to cope better with stress. And remember that whatever you're feeling, you're definitely not alone. We're all affected by this pandemic. And if you're really struggling, it's okay to seek for a professional help. There's no shame in taking care of our mental health. I think it's time to bring this speech to a close. And remember that you have the ability to overcome every challenge life gives. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for the great performance. Let's move on to the fourth grand finalist, Ganda Putri Maira Ardana from Diploma for Nutrition Study Program.
Good morning, Excellency, the Honorable Judges, and my respected colleagues. I am Ganda Putri Meta Ardana, a student of Nutrition and Dietetics Department, would like to share my idea regarding the way of being productive during pandemic. We are what we think. Every time we believe in good things, everything will turn to something wonderful. These statements are indeed true and make sense as all the things that come into our minds and thoughts can affect our actions, and good actions can lead us into great results. As a part of young generations, all ideas that come out from our minds for sure will determine our actions to serve society and environment. It is also true that our mind will affect behavior. Our behavior will be our habits. And when we do the same habits or routines every day, it builds our future. This is why maintaining positive thoughts is important, since it may not only affect ourselves at this time being, but also influence humans and society days ahead, months ahead, even years ahead. Therefore, maintaining positive thoughts and arranging good vibes in daily basis are the main ways of being productive. Young people should have this perspective, especially at this uncertain period. They who have good thoughts will create, produce, and yield great output. As a symbol of improvement, young generations have great opportunities to develop environments and to establish society into the better one. Learning is the principal way to gain this purpose. Let's use occasions that we have to obtain knowledge and to evolve our skills. We, the young generation, still have many times to do many things. Let's spend it wisely and maximize all opportunities. Learn good and positive things every time and everywhere. Gain knowledge from everyone that come into our lives. Learning is not only about gaining information, but also establishing good perspective and helping us to create good ways of thinking. Learning encourages us to grow mentally, so let's learn everything. In this time being, during the outbreak, learning and studying are beneficial method to get through tough and tiring periods. Let's use facilities that we have easily, read books, and use internet to search for positive information. Speak up, write out, and share your idea in order to develop yourself and to encourage others. Don't be afraid to conduct changes in positive ways. You don't need to turn some things into the big one drastically. You just need to improve yourself gradually. Start from small things, start with yourself first, and don't procrastinate. Start it now. Provide our best effort in anything that we do. As people who give their best work will gain success. Spending time with family is another important thing for being productive. Family is the greatest part for us, no matter what happens. Family always comes first. Therefore, staying connected with family is a significant way to be a better person. We, the young generations, are the pillars of these nations, and our family is the foundations. Family will always provide good advice to nourish ourselves for taking good actions. Be productive by helping our parents. We may normally be busy with our own business. Then let's use this opportunity during the pandemic together with our family. Let's spend our precious time with our beloved parents and siblings. Let's help them. Let's talk to them. Use these occasions wisely and usefully. My dearest fellows, as young people, we still have full spirit and strength. Let's use it to help others. We can assist others financially, share our knowledge, or help them with our strengths. Let's share what we have. Sharing is not only caring, but also releasing problems by lifting others' burden. Helping others also means sharing happiness that can lead us to be glad. Sharing will not decrease what we have. Instead, it will help us obtain something bigger. Dear young generations, again, I need to state this. We have huge potentials within ourselves. Don't be an indolent person. Use your potential significantly. Maintain positive thoughts, do positive actions, and improve yourself. Don't practically trust it with small steps within yourself. Do it now. Trust me, it is not hard to stay positive as long as you're willing to do so. I am Ganda Putri Metardana, a student of Nutrition and Dietetics Department, Polkesma Kemenkes Malang, asking you to be smart, bright, and worthwhile generations. Stay positive and always do your best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganda, for the great performance. And last, our fifth grand finalist, Atira Nurobi Firdaus from Diploma 3 Food Analyst and Pharmacy Study Program.
To respectful judges and all the amazing participants and audiences, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Atira Nurobi Firdaus. You can call me Atira. I am from Pharmaceutical and Food Analyst. First of all, don't forget to send praise and thank to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for all the things He has created us, and this world will never exist without His almightiness. Don't forget our salawat and salam to our Prophet Nabi Muhammad SAW, along with his families and his fellow followers until the end of this time. Before beginning my speech, I would like to thank all the audience here, especially the judges, for giving me the opportunity to speak. On this great occasion, I would like to talk about being productive during pandemic. Pandemic is a situation where the plague spread throughout the world simultaneously. WHO, also known as the World Health Organization, already said that COVID-19 has been regarded as a new pandemic in the world. To avoid the spread of COVID-19 outbreak, Indonesia made several policies. For example, lockdown, PSBB, physical distancing. Lockdown is a situation that forces citizens to not go outside during an emergency and prohibit immigrants to entering the country. Lockdown and many several policies makes human activities become unproductive. Many of us stuck at home pretty much doing nothing because lockdown and many several policy still going on. Even though we are staying at home, we must remain to be productive. Do you know why we have to stay productive during pandemic? Because we are expected to be an agent of change. So, as a part of country, we have to stay energetic, positive, and optimistic. We hope that we can become an agent of change that moves and strives to be able to assist the government in breaking the chain of COVID-19. During the quarantine period, you can spend your time with some positive activities. You can take short courses to increase your knowledge. Now, many platforms provide short courses in various fields. For example, Coursera.org. This platform provides short courses from various universities around the world. This is very important to keep in our mind to never stop learning. Another activities you can try at home, find new hobby and explore more your skill. I have advice for all of you to stay productive during pandemic. First, I think it's really helpful to think about doing service to our future selves. I always ask to myself, what would my future self want? So if you are at home, lockdown, quarantine, or whatever you're doing at home right now, maybe you can ask yourself the question, in this time, what will I regret not doing today, not starting today? And doing this consistently. And that is good tips to help us to stay productive during pandemic. Second, it's daily highlight. Choose one thing you will focus on today, just like Pareto principle. Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, states that for many events, about 80% of the effect is due to 20% of the causes. Third, write to-do list of everything else we will do in that day after finish daily highlight. Fourth, strike a productive balance between attention, time, and energy for exceptional productivity, because our body needs to take a rest. If you are struggling with being productive during pandemic, write down a list of things that you think it is difficult so you can give some of clarity in what you need to do. Even if you are not going to get all of them done, that just means that in your mind, like subconsciously and consistently, you are trying to get stuff done efficiently, which means you are doing to be more productive. Being productive means doing the things we do as efficiently as possible. Some of you may have questioned, what's the difference between being busy and productive? The answer, being busy is about working harder, while productive is about working smarter. Being busy involves frantic work, while being productive is more focused. Being busy prioritizes the short term, while productivity is about long-term priorities. When you're busy, you are fooled by perfectionism, but you're productive, you are fooled by purpose. When we focus at one thing, we are more likely to be productive rather than busy. If you follow the right habit, discipline enough, and use your tools and technologies correctly, you can be more productive. Everyone has 24 hours a day. You can choose how to spend those 24 hours. Productivity is how much what you made in a day. You can change your habits now, and surely your habit will change your future. Happy people are productive people. I think it's enough for me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you everyone for the excellent performance. Now it's time for entering feedback session. Every judges have 5 minutes for giving any feedbacks. Maybe we could start from Mr. Hairudin for giving any feedbacks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoy the. Thank you, moderator. I really enjoy the performances in oratory, and all the 5 candidates have shown very interesting, entertaining, and also important issues in their speeches. So to maximize my feedback in the given 5 minutes time to every contestant, to all contestants. So let me just go straight to give my first feedback to Anastasia as the, I think as the first contestant. Anastasia, I think, have done it so well in her speech or oratory performance by covering all the things needed in order to make the speech adequate. What I mean is it covers decent or good or adequate opening, and then there is content and closing. So that is the general evaluation of Anastasia's speech. And to make a more specific feedback to Anastasia's opening, I think it's so good to open with her observation analysis in her family in her surrounding. For example, like crazy, she brought about the issue about crazy people talk dirty things. Yeah. Okay. So I think opening your speech with as introduction with observation, your own observation, is very good. Yeah. That is one way to hook up the attention of your listeners. Okay. And then there is you move from the observation analysis into definition about mental disorder and give examples of mental disorders, and then the causes, and then treatment to solve the problem. And at the end, your message is it is so important in order to reduce or avoid the impact of suicide, etc. So I think it's a good structure, Anastasia. However, I would also like to give you some feedbacks for improvement, because there is always room for improvement. I think it can be made more smooth if between the opening and then the definition, the causes, and the solving of the problem, and the final message, it can be made stronger. So sometimes I have to do harder in order to identify again which part is the introduction, and then which part is the causes, and then which part is the solution to the problem and the impact. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's my feedback to our first contestant, Anastasia. My second specific feedback to the second contestant, Muhammad Mukadif. Muhammad Mukadif, I think, has done well. He started with a very strong opening. There is greeting, salutation to the Prophet, and also expression of gratitude to God, which is so dramatic, yeah. And he introduced the topic well as the opener. And then at the end of the speech, he proposed or suggested ways to solve the problem. So I think it's a complete structure for a speech. And however, I have my suggestions so you can improve better your performance. So, from the first time you start, the knowledge is so good, but they are so general. I think you need to also bring it to personal matters. So it needs personalization or contextualization when you relate it to yourself, to your surrounding, to your environment, yeah, to people you know. So I think the contextualization can be increased better, Muhammad Mukadif.
Excuse me, sir.
And yes.
5 minutes sum up feedback for 5 participants.
5 minutes. So how long, how much time have I spent now? Can you tell me?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yes.
So I still have 2 minutes. So let's chop. So I think you need to make your speech more contextualized and more personalized. And next to contestant number 3, it's good opening. We should be you start the opening even with suggestion, like we should be telling the world blah blah blah, and then you describe the phenomenon, yeah, and then you give or present the solution to the problem. Start day doing exercise, get planning to achieve goals, etc., and be wise with social media info, and then good sleep, and then you close your speech with a suggestion and hoping people would do that what you ask them to do. My suggestion for you as a feedback is it will be more perfect if at the end of the speech you close it with strong memorable message. So I cannot identify very clearly the message that I can easily remember from your speech. So if it is there, but it can be made stronger and more memorable message. Yeah. So because at the end, people or the listeners will leave your speech with memorizing or your final message. And the next to Ganda Putri. So your opening is good. Then, as usual, I think everybody has good structure of the performance or speech, and we really know what you are going to tell in the speech, in the whole speech, because there is a clear break line or hypothesis in the beginning of the speech when you say that we are what we think. Okay, so all your speech later is how to solve problem and how to make up your mind, yeah, how you think can help you deal the problems that you face during Corona. Like maintain positive learning to maximize opportunities, learn from everyone, develop yourself and encourage others. Start it now. So you have a lot of suggestions used for people. And I think I still have around 1 more minute. So let me go to Atira, and Atira has good opening, and then there is great, salutation, gratitude to God, and greeting to everybody and to the jury. And then introduction, very well introduction, Indonesian lockdown policy, and it create impacts. So this is what makes people unproductive because of the national Indonesian lockdown policy. It makes people unproductive. So why we should be productive? There is a very good rhetorical question. Why should we be productive? Okay, and especially the young people, because you are agent of change, something like that, yeah. And then you give suggestion to positive activities by using platforms to learn, find new hobbies, and then ask yourself, what will you regret you are not doing today? Uh, and then make clear what you need to do, and then you make differentiation between the what is the real productive in comparison with busy. Okay, and I think people will get, the listeners will get very vivid explanation and information about what is productive behavior. So, and then you compare work smarter, work busy is work harder, and then focus, creative, productive person have a purpose, etc., etc. And at the end of the speech, you close it with very memorable message: happy people always is productive people. So I think that's all my personal feedback to Atira. And so I congratulate everybody who has given us very good entertainment, yeah, in addition to information and knowledge about how to be productive during the era of COVID-19 pandemic. That is all my feedback to everybody, to all contestants. Thank you for the opportunity. Moderator, please take over.
Thank you, Mr. Khairuddin, for the great feedback. Now we have Mr. Julius Irham.
Okay, test. Can you hear my?
Yes, sure. 5 minutes from now, the time is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. Okay, well, actually, there are a lot of things that I'd like to give my evaluation to 5 contestant grand finalists today. But in general, it has been covered by Pak Hai, and maybe I'd like to make a complete about the evaluation itself. I'd like to come to the general one, the positive one from the speaker number 1, Anastasia, number 2, Hoyrul, and number 3, Sintawati, Ganda Putri, and Adira. Most of you, all of you are making very good in opening, and also the way of you make an opening gratitude to the God is good. Yeah, is complete, and it's a good idea, especially in Indonesia, is important to attract the audiences by approaching by religious opening or greeting. And then the next one, number 2, all of your language or of your word is understandable. So even the people from all levels, they can understand what you are saying about. Yeah, in general, your English is very good, understandable, and you can exchange your mind to another, to listener, to deliver your speech and to make them understand. Okay, the next one, the way all of you delivering the topic is quite good. Already elaborate from the topic until you give the example, you give some good sentences to the audiences, to the audiences especially. And the next one, the closing, I think, yeah, it's good as we in general is needed as in the speech contest. Yeah, of course, we need to make some good closing with some good quote and yeah, something like that. Okay, this is I taught in general from the speaker from the first contestant until the 5th contestant. And now I'd like to come to a little bit more detail. Yeah, the first one, I'd like to say hello to Anastasia, the first speaker. Yeah, your expression is good, and it's the most important. The most interesting thing for me is that when you are making the greeting, it's so simple, and then it's quite interesting for me, and it can make a special attraction to me especially. Yeah, and then you deliver about the interesting things, the young generation doing a suicide and doing alcohol or is yeah, is quite interesting. And but I'd like to give you some suggestion. To all, yeah, my suggestion to not only to Anastasia but to all, yeah. While you are making your speech, in the beginning of speech, you have to find your attention grabber. And I almost do not find from 3 speakers making some attention grabber. For example, the attention grabber is I don't know in this speech whether permitted or not. Yeah. For example, you like to attract the audiences by bringing the rose flower, for example. Yeah. And when you are making the flower in your hand, the attention of the judges or the audiences will attract you. Or maybe in the word you can say like this. For example, like this. My neighbor died last week because blah, 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 blah. So when someone say that there is someone die, it will make a special attention to you as the speaker, yeah, like that one. And from this is for all, yeah. I say that from the speaker number 1, number 2, number 3, you do not make any attention grabber, and that is the problem. That is the things that you need to input the next time when you make a speech like this anymore. Yeah. And then the next one, my suggestion to all, I see that when except the speaker number one, yeah, except Anastasia, I see that from Hoirul and Sintawati, Ganda Putri, and so on. I saw that while you are making your what's that? Your opening, as if that you hope the high score from the judges. You know, in speech, the opening, the jury do not give you quite good score in opening. So the most important thing is you have to deliver the content. What is the most important message you'd like to explain to the audiences, like that. So do not hope much. Do not hope. For example, when you say Assalamualaikum, while you are nodding your head like this one, is not important to do like that one. Just make the simple opening. Yeah, do not make it longer, because your time is much better to be allocated in delivering the content, the most important, the most important subject that you'd like to explain to the audiences, like that. And then maybe the next one is most of you have to try to do not make any flat intonation. Yeah, and sometimes you have to speak up in a very high in speed, and sometimes that you have to slow down your speed. Depends on the content, depends on the things that you are really need to do that.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. And the next
Excuse me, sir.
is important for you. Yeah.
The
It's 5
time
minutes.
remains 2 minutes left.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you. The next one is while you are making your speech, please what is that? Saya sampai lupa ini tadi. What is that? You need to pay attention. This is a video record. Yeah, of course, that is difficult for you to pay attention to the audiences. Audience is a very important part of the things that you need to pay attention. And yeah, sometimes then. Okay, the next one is the joke. You know, the joke is also very important to touch the audiences. You have to try to find because the audiences sometimes, you know, we have a speech in the, not always in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the night when the condition is very boring. You know, you need to touch the audiences by using the joke to make it little bit more funny, you know. So in my conclusion is, while you are doing your speech, you have to elaborate many things, not only to deliver your speech, but also you have to see the condition of the audiences itself. Yeah, so elaborate them all. Sometimes in high speed, sometimes you have to say hello to the audiences, sometimes you have to talk or communicate to the audiences, sometimes maybe you have to sing with one or two sentences or something like that to make a more attraction, to pay attention to your speech here. Remember, the brain of the human can catch maximally only in 12 seconds. We can pay attention maximally on your word. So you need to recharge. You need to remind the audiences when audiences forget with the speaker in front of the on the stage, for example, like that one. Yeah, maybe that's all. Thank you so much. We are limited by the times. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope all the audience, all of the contestants or grand finalists, this get success. Yeah, thank you very much, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir, for the feedback. Now we have our last judges for oratory round. We have Ms. Davinta Puspitaratri.
Okay, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum
Yes.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, I will make it short because I think all judges, Pak Kai and Pak Julius have covered all the thing for the assessment. So I will give a general assessment for all contestants, for all finalists. Well, the first thing is that all finalists did a great job by having elaborating the topics very well. But then I will give some discussion or some input or feedback for your betterment for the next contest. The first one for the opening, because yes, like Pak Julius have mentioned previously, when you give the what is that opening and give the topic for your speech, use your 5 or 10 first seconds to bring eye-catching issue or example related to your speech to get the audience attention to you. So they will listen to what you are going to say or what you are going to talk in the next 5 or 2 minutes. Yeah, second minutes, 5 or 7 minutes. Sorry. And then this eye catching can be like more personalized or more contextualized, as I mentioned, because if it is too general, like people will say like, yeah, I know it, like, yeah, that's a general knowledge that we know. So I don't, like COVID, for example. COVID-19 has, uh, uh, what is that? Has made us stay at home for about seven months. Yeah, we all know. So what's special? What about that? So you need to give more example which is eye catching, like Anastasia just given in her opening. The second one, greeting. Yes, greeting is important, but I think it is better to have your greeting short, and also gratitude to God is also important in Indonesian context. But then still, because you're going to bring your speech, you're going to deliver your speech, then you need to make it more simple and short. Uh, and then after that, yeah, you can bring the issue and or example in the opening and discuss the cause, like mental illness. Make it more contextual, like people uh, what people now face for mental illness. More contextualized example. Then after that, you can highlight after giving the discussing the cause. Then you can highlight the important solution. The solution might be many, but you can choose some of them, which is more beneficial, or you can highlight some only. Because if you give a lot of solution, the audience will forget. So you can have like 3 points. You can mention 3 points of solution you can do for for example, preventing or maintaining mental health. And you need to give it, you provide concrete example to each solution. Because some finalists give solution which is too general, which the audience cannot relate. That's the thing. The last one is that your all finalists actually very good have very good pronunciation, good English ability, but however some finalists still missed some pronunciation, so it leads to misunderstanding. So please mind your pronunciation, so that the accent is not important, whether it is Japanese or Indonesian is, it's okay, but pronunciation is important. Okay, thank you. I think that's it, moderator. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Vinta. And that's all for our first session. Now we will have break for about 5 minutes, and we will enjoy an entertainment video from Polkesma Melodiosa Choir, also known as PMC.
Oh, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
Mimpi adalah kunci untuk kita menaklukkan dunia. Berlarilah tanpa lelah sampai engkau meraihnya. Laskar pelangi takkan terikat waktu. Bebaskan mimpimu di angkasa, warnai bintang di jiwa. Menarilah dan terus tertawa, walau dunia tak seindah surga. Bersyukurlah pada yang kuasa, cinta kita di dunia selamanya. Cinta kepada hidup, memberikan senyuman abadi. Walau hidup kadang tak adil, tapi cinta lengkapi kita. Laskar pelangi takkan terikat waktu. Jangan berhenti mewarnai jutaan mimpi di bumi. Menarilah dan terus tertawa, walau dunia tak seindah surga. Bersyukurlah pada yang kuasa, cinta kita di dunia. Menarilah dan terus tertawa, walau dunia tak seindah surga. Bersyukurlah pada yang kuasa, cinta kita di dunia
Welcome back to the final round of Polkesma English Competition 2020. Now we're entering our next session of today's grand final is final round of news anchor. Before we started, let me introduce our judges. Today we have Miss Eka Wulandari, Miss Yuyun Putri Mandasari, and Mr. Agus Wiwitswanto. Welcome to judges and thank you for taking the time to attending this special event. Let's start this round with video presentation from the first grand finalist, Puspita Yuninda Dewi from Diploma 3 Nursing Study Program.
Hello viewers, you are watching Polkesma English News with me, Puspita Yuninda. Distance learning method during the times of COVID-19 pandemic for more than 3 months has brought some negative impacts to the students. A survey found that 80% of students were bored. There were lots of assignments given by the teachers and without any interaction. Such kind of condition made them stressed and had no time to relax. In addition to that, many students also have very poor connection access to join the online learning. This condition, as well as the overall tasks, are the burden for the students. From Seoul, Sulawesi, it was reported that a senior high school student committed suicide. According to investigation results of the local police officers, this incident was happened because she was very depressed due to the overload online assignment. The Education Commissioner of Indonesian Child Protection Commission, Retno Listiati, explained that 79.9% of the students had distance learning without interaction. The teacher only dealt with the task and asked them to submit according to the deadline. Only 20.1% students state that there is communication between student and teacher. This aided pass on the survey distributed to 20 provinces and 54 districts in Indonesia. The survey also found some methods of home learning such as message and chat-based responses, Zoom call meeting, video call, and telephone call. The government encouraged teachers to be more creative in designing learning modules to spark student interest. The point is that the students need to see their teacher's face and try to design projects that the students like. That's our news, and after this, we will have weather forecast for tomorrow. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright, now let's take a look at today's weather around East Java. Today, October 30, 2020 in the morning, some regions in East Java such as Malang, Kediri, Blitar, and Jember are predicted to be shiny, partly cloudy, and followed by light and heavy rain accompanied by thunders. It will be the same weather in the afternoon, evening, and at night in the humidity range of 50 to 100%. The wind speed between 5 to 30 km per hour around the areas of Surabaya, Pasuruan, Mojokerto, and Jombang. According to this forecast, if you are going to have a trip, you may consider some preparation and be careful regarding the bad weather. Now, let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. In several places in East Java region, tomorrow, October 31st, 2020, is predicted to have heavy rain and thunderstorm with a temperature around 19 degrees up to 24 degrees Celsius. At the wind speed of 11 km per hour, the southern coastal area of Pacitan, Trenggalek, Tulungagung, and Banyuwangi is also predicted to experience heavy rain and strong wind. According to his prediction, people who want to spend the weekend on the beach are advised to be more cautious and well prepared. That's all our news today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice weekend and goodbye.
Thank you for for the great performance. Moving on to the second grand finalist, Silmi Afifa from Diploma 3 Medical Record Study Program.
Good morning, Polkesma. It's November 5th, 2020. This is BSC Morning News and I'm Silmi Afifa from Medical Record and Health Information Study Program. We deliver actual, sharp, and objective news from all over Indonesia. The first news is about education during pandemic. High school student in Goa District, South Sulawesi was founded on Friday, October 23rd after consuming insecticide. The family claimed that the girl suffered from anxiety and depression due to heavy school load during the pandemic. Although authority also cited another reason for the suicide, the case sheds light on the mental health problem faced by the student during the digital learning program. The Indonesian Child Protection Commission, or KPAI, reported that this is the second suicide associated with online school since the start of COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia early March. Technologists of the Commission urged the Ministry of Education and Culture to re-evaluate the implementation of the distance learning program as she believed that these cases might be the tip of an iceberg. The second news is about Indonesia's weather forecast. The Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency, or BMKE, has issued extreme weather warnings on Sunday, November 1st, 2020. The agency warned of incoming thunderstorm, strong wind, and high waves across Indonesia following the transition into rainy season.
Thunderstorm coupled with strong wind will hit most areas in Sumatra, Java, East Nusa Tenggara, Maluku, Kalimantan, and Irian Jaya, while heavy rains are expected in some regions of Bali and Sulawesi. Miming Saifuddin, the agency's spokesperson, said that Indonesia's easternmost and westernmost waters are predicted to have high waves.
Waves reaching 4 meters high are to occur in the western part of Indonesia's water. Well, viewers, that's news for today, and goodbye.
Thank you, Silmi Afifa for the great performance. Next, video presentation from the third grand finalist, Milna Fitria Mahmuda from Diploma for Nursing Study Program.
What I have proposed will be paid for by raising taxes on
John Jones is the current light heavyweight king and the youngest ever UFC champion.
Good morning, Indonesia. This is sunny day on Tuesday morning, the 3rd of November 2020. This is Milna Fitria Mahmuda. In 5 minutes others, I will accompany with the most leading news at the headline news. A number of labor elements were back on holding a demonstrations against the Omnibus Law on Work Creation, Monday, November 2nd, 2020. The demonstration took place in the Medan Merdeka area, Central Jakarta, and was held by the Confederations of Indonesian Trade Unions with 32 other labor federations. In this action, there were more than 10,000 of workers who came from various cities. There are Jakarta, Cilegon, Semarang, Mojokerto, Pasuruan, and others. In today's demonstrations, the demands that will be voiced are regarding the cancellations of the Omnibus Law and demands for the 2021 minimum wage. We have our team located at the skin. Good morning, Fitri. Can you hear my voice? Good morning, Milna. Good. Can you explain what the condition at the skin now? Okay, Milna, I think the demonstrations took place in the Medan Merdeka area, Central Jakarta. Laborers formally reject the Minister of Manpower circular regarding the absence of an increase in the provincial minimum wage next year. It is planned that this demonstration will be held again on 9 and 10 November if the aspirations of the laborers today don't get resolved. Apart from that, the president of the Confederations of Indonesia Trade Unions also confirmed that the national labor strike activity is not impossible. Clashes between laborers and police also occurred. Actions of pushing and throwing stones was inevitable. The mob tore down the entrance gate to the building and broke a number of flower pots and damaged a security post. The riot was triggered by the laborers' desire to meet with government officials to be ignored, and the crowd forcibly entered the building. That's the information. Go back to the studio. Thank you for the information, Fitri. Dear viewers, that's today's information about labor demonstrations against Omnibus Law. Move to the next information. We will provide information about weather forecast in several major cities in Indonesia. Those are Jabodetabek, Semarang, and Surabaya. So, for those of you who are in the regions or planning to go to the regions, here's the weather forecast. The Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency estimate that Indonesia will enter the rainy seasons. In the last few days, several regions in Indonesia have experienced rain. You will start from West Java region. Last night, the rain in Jabodetabek area has started to stop. From noon to the afternoon, some areas in Jabodetabek are predicted to have moderate rain. Well, therefore, the weather in Semarang and its surrounding is expected to be cloudy this afternoon. By late afternoon, the rain will likely fall with light intensity. Turning to the East Java regions, especially the provincial capital, it is estimated that the weather in the Surabaya area and its surrounding will rain with moderate intensity. But it is necessary to be aware of the presence of heavy rain and thunderstorms. That's all for now. I will be back with more updates in the afternoon. Until next time, goodbye.
Thank you, Milna, for the great performance. Let's move on to the fourth grand finalist, Dinar Eka Safitri from Diploma for Health Promotion Study Program.
It's Wednesday, November 4, 2020. This is the Polkesma TV Morning News. I will accompany you for a few minutes ahead and hear more news to spread the news that actual, sharp, and reliable. Optimism began to hurt when the government tried to bring the vaccine from several countries to COVID-19. The statistics to manage vaccination starting from funding, procurement and distribution, including the relationship and elaboration between ministries and agencies, which is comprehensively. In accordance with Presidential Regulation Number 99 of 2020 concerning vaccine procurement and implementation of vaccination in the context of COVID-19, which was signed on October 5, 2020. Efforts to procure vaccine have been carried out by the Indonesian Minister of Health with the coordinating Minister for Maritime and Investment, Foreign Minister and the Minister of State-Owned Enterprise, so that Indonesia has access to vaccine candidates for Sinovac, Sinopharm, and AstraZeneca. In finding vaccine search, the government also collaborating with international organizations, namely the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation and the Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization. In Indonesia, the researchers are also developing a red and white vaccine using an Indonesian virus strain. The government is targeting vaccine from China and the UK to cover a minimum coverage of 70% of the Indonesian population. In addition, the vaccine from CEPI and GAVI will guarantee access to vaccine for 20% of Indonesia's population. Red and white vaccine readiness, which is expected to cover 100% of Indonesia's population. Next, we go to the latest weather news in Indonesia on November 2, 2020. And here are the details. Banda Aceh will enjoy the sunshine today at noon, maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, while for most of us in the capital, we only need to think of a rainy day as a routine. But today is different. The capital can enjoy maximum of 32 degrees Celsius sunshine with a cloudy sunny. East Java, Surabaya will be hit by the sun reaching 34 degrees Celsius with a cloudy sunny. While in Denpasar we will see the light rain in the early morning, then surpassing at noon reaching 32 degrees Celsius. Towards South Sulawesi, the forecast shows that Makassar will also enjoy maximum sun warmth of 33 degrees Celsius. Similar condition apply for Balikpapan as well as Jayapura, Papua. This news was reported by Meteorological, Climatological, and Geophysical Agency. This is Polkesma TV Morning News for this Wednesday. Thanks for watching. I'm Dinar Eka Safitri. Have a great day.
Thank you, Dinar, for the great performance. And last, our fifth grand finalist, Linda Pratiwi Wulandari from Diploma 3 Nursing Study Program.
Hello everyone, welcome back to NBC News Special Report.
This is an NBC News Special Report.
Today we're coming out with coronavirus vaccine update. Indonesia again becomes a country for clinical trial of COVID-19 vaccines. After China, Indonesia is rumored to be a clinical trial site for the coronavirus vaccines originating from the UK. The COVID-19 vaccines is joint development of Imperial College London or ICL, which is named COVAX. This vaccine clinical trial plan has reached phase 3, which will be carried out in Indonesia. It has been signed by the Ministry of Health of Republic of Indonesia, and the ICL has signed a letter of intent which contains an agreement that the research and development of the COVID-19 vaccines will be carried out jointly. Dr. Slamet, as the head of Health Research and Development Agency on Thursday, 15 October 2020 said, Indonesia welcomes the phase 3 clinical trial collaboration with ICL as an effort to tackle the COVID-19 pandemics. In this phase 3 clinical trial, the COVID-19 vaccines has entered the production state but cannot be marketed or widely distributed. This research will be carried out by taking several random samples, some of which will be given a vaccines containing real drugs and the rest will be given placebo or empty drugs. This trial will help researchers to find out whether the drugs is really effective or simply suggest that the patient feel better because they know they use medicinal product. If it faces the third test, that means declared to be effective and safe. The vaccines can be registered with the regulatory agency and can be sold in the market. And now we're going to move on second news, that's weather report.
Weather report.
Beware of extreme weather for the next 3 days. The Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency detected the growth of tropical cyclones that occur in the southern coast of Java Island on November 6, 2020, last Friday. The impact of strong winds and heavy rain will occur in several areas, including Jakarta. The strong winds are the result of Cempaka tropical cyclones. The Cempaka tropical cyclone is the seat of tropical cyclones of the 95 South that develops and also result in change in weather patterns around the track. This Cempaka tropical cyclone moved northeast towards Indonesia at speed of 5 knots or 95 kilometers per hour. The impact of Cempaka tropical cyclones include potential heavy rain in various areas that will occur over the next 3 days, not only in Jakarta but also in Banten, Central Java, Yogyakarta, and East Java, which have potential for heavy rains. Next is potential for strong winds with speed 30 knots, which are expected to hit several areas such as South Sumatra. Then Bangka Belitung area will head to the island of Java. The strong winds will then continue towards the waters of East Java Sea, the Sunda Strait, and the waters of Kangean Island, the Sumba Sea, South Bali, and finally the Southern Lombok Strait to the island of Sumba. The potential for high sea wave with a height of 2.5 meters to 6 meters is expected to hit the southern sea of East Java and the eastern part of Sumba Strait, the south waters of Banten to West Java. Cempaka tropical cyclone is expected to last for the next 2 to 3 days. The Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency urge all residents to remain vigilant and careful about the impacts that could cause floods, landslide, flash floods, puddles, strong winds, and fallen trees. I think that's it, our news for today. Thank you for watching. I am Linda Pratiulandari, NBC News Report.
It's an amazing performance from all the grand finalists. Now we will entering feedback session. Every judges have 5 minutes for giving any feedbacks to 5 participants. Maybe we could start from Ms. Eka Wulandari.
Okay, thank you very much. Is my voice clear?
Yeah.
Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so congratulations first of all for all the participants. Yeah, I think I just give the feedback in general because I know all of you had worked so hard, had made some of your best efforts to be able to come to this level of achievement. Yeah, so I can see that all of you already have a good pronunciation and the tone are excellent too, and you always keep smiling. That's very good in delivering a news. Yeah, but maybe there are some rooms for improvement also that I hope it can make your performances better in the future. Yeah, for example, if we talk about the back sound, it will be better if it is not played all the time. Yeah. So yeah, only on the beginning maybe, and then at the end, yeah, something like that. You can try to manage that. And then the stress of the words should not be on all the words, yeah, but maybe in some of the words so that we are not getting a little bit tired, yeah, following the news that you are given. And pay attention also on grooming because it is one thing that the audience see when you are presenting a news. And also the body language, yeah, changing body position, smiling, that can grab the attention of the audience. And there must be also a clear shifting between each of the news because you have two news here. So there should be a clear shifting between the two of them. Don't forget also on the eye contact. You have to make sure that your eye contact stay on the audience. So not wandering around, yeah, seeing other places. And because we talk about news in English, so I think linkage, yeah, you should pay attention on the linkage between words to make the news interesting to be listened to. Yeah. And I like the background image that all the participants use. It can lead us to more clear understanding about what news that you are delivering. Yeah. And we must be aware also that there are different ways of delivering the news. Yeah. Whether it is hard news, soft news, yeah, or weather news. Yeah. For example, like the weather, it should be delivered more casually than the hard news. And I think the last one, yeah, last but not least, I can see that most of you are tense when recording the video. I know because there are lots of stress put on you, yeah. So just reduce your tense next time and be more relaxed. I think that's all that I can give for my feedback because, but basically all of you did great job. Congratulations. That's good. Okay, thank you, moderator. I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Eka, for the feedback. Moving on to our second judges, we have Ms. Yuyun Putri Manasari.
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to say congratulations also to all the grand finalists and all the performance. I think I'm very good, very outstanding, very creative, and very skillful in delivering the news and being a news anchor. Well, my comment is about the first one is about the delivery of the news item, pronunciation, intonation, and then for example, something like that, as well as the gesture are very good delivery. And then, yes, for the delivery, I think all of you have very good delivery of news. And then for the structure of the news item text, I think clear enough for all the grand finalists. I think you have done a good job here. And then for the opening, all of you here also have an impressive opening to the audiences. I think all of you have just done a good job. And my suggestion, I think, is the same as Ms. Eka Wulandari. Well, the first one is about the eye contact. Even though you are reading the script, I think you have to pay attention to the eye contact because it is very important in delivering the news. And then the second is, even though it is in a speaking skill, I think you have to pay attention also to the text, especially for the grammarly check of your text of news item. For example, when you have to deliver, when you mentioned about the number of days, I think for maybe you can, for example, the 2 of November. I think you have it is better to say in an ordinal number, so it's kind of 2nd of November, not 2 of November. And then also for example, like in my notes with eye contact, I think it's the same as Miss Eka. And then also when you have to pronounce, for example, like weather, not weather, but weather, and then skin, not skin, something like that. You have to pay more attention to the pronunciation. But I think all of you here have done a good job. Congratulations, and I think that's all for my comments. Thank you very much, and see you. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum.
Thank you, Ms. Yuyun, for the feedback. Moving on to our last judges, we have Mr. Agus Wiwitswanto.
Okay, thank you for the time. Good morning for everyone. And I'm sorry, suara saya terdengar jelas?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I will give feedback. I think overall is have Miss Eka and Miss Yun given. So I will give for generally feedback. Okay, I think I agree for Miss Eka about sound background. Yes. So in this number, I think we will need many information for the news for the news. So I think most background is if music background is so okay, that is be uh, be close be close the voice for music background is closed by music background. That is okay. I proud of you all of you because that is a good job. And in here, I have some notice for opening impact on audience. I think I have one is uh, have excellent opening impact of news anchor. Yes, uh, but I I will say and at the di akhir nanti ya saya sampaikan di akhir nanti aja ya. Mohon maaf saya sampaikan secara campuran bahasanya. Kemudian di sini I'm here I have some idea for from Miss Yun. Anyone participants have pronunciation is not clear. So I think we of you need to increasing your pronunciation like fruits, yes, fruits and once of participant have correction to your words like sorry ada yang koreksi tentang society tadi ya di 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 di, di dalam penyampaian tadi salah dalam menyampaikan jadi saya rasa seperti itu tidak perlu terjadi but overall I'm confused. There is news anchor or the professional news anchor or student of health. Saya belum jadinya ini. Adik-adik ini pembawa acara profesional atau mahasiswa ya jadinya. Jadi sangat menarik ini. Saya sangat bangga pada adik-adik. Oke, I think enough my feedback and time I for moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the feedback. And thank you for all judges of News Anchor for giving the feedback. And that's wrap up our second session. Now we will have break for another 5 minutes. Let us enjoy another video entertainment from Focal Group of Polkesma.
Aku malu-malu saat bersamamu, saat ku sapa diri aku, kok merinding buluku, kok jadi gugut aku saat bersamamu,
Saat kau senyum padaku, mungkin inilah rasanya, rasa suka pada dirinya. Sejak pertama aku bertanya, Facebookmu apa, nomormu berapa.
mungkin inilah rasanya, cinta pada pandang pertama.
Senyuman manismu itu buat aku dak diduk melulu. Nanti aku follow Twittermu, aku tunggu retweetmu, agar aku tahu sukakah kamu kepadaku. Mungkin inilah rasanya, rasa suka pada dirinya. Sejak pertama aku bertanya, Facebookmu apa, nomormu berapa.
Mungkin inilah rasanya, cinta pada pandang pertama.
Senyuman manismu itu buat aku dak diduk melulu.
Yeah, cuma kamu yang bisa membuatku tidak tergantung memikirkanmu. Pucat hati, oh kamu cantik sekali.
Tuhan, aku hanya ingin dia tahu, kamu lucu, kamu sangat lucu. Mungkin inilah rasanya, rasa suka pada dirinya. Sejak pertama aku bertanya, Facebookmu apa, nomormu berapa, nomormu berapa.
Mungkin inilah rasanya, cinta pada pandang pertama. Senyuman manismu itu buat aku dak diduk malu. Kamu, 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 kamu. Mungkin inilah rasanya, cinta pada pandang pertama.
Senyuman manismu itu buat aku dak diduk melulu.
Thank you to focal group of Polkesma for providing an amazing videos and entering the last session of today's event, final round of storytelling. Before we started, I'm going to introduce our awesome judges today. There will be Ms. Irka Maharani, Mr. Muhammad Zainal Abidin, and Ms. Hastirin Widyastuti. Let's start this round with video presentation from the first grand finalist, Anna Nurlita Sari from Diploma 3 Medical Record Study Program.
Hello, good afternoon, dear audience and the honorable judges. My name is Anna Nurlita Sari from Medical Record and Health Information Study Program. Today, I'd like to share with you a small piece of history from my hometown, Nganjuk, East Java. This history is intimately linked with Sedudo Waterfall, an iconic tourist attraction. It so happened that beside its natural beauty, Sedudo Waterfall has an interesting history, one that local people cherish and always celebrate every year. It all started with a small family who lived in Kliman village right on the foot of Mount Willis. The family consisted of a husband. We know him as Begawan, his wife named Devisri, and Devisri's brother Bharata. This family were highly respected for their kindness, wisdom, piety, and generosity. They always shared what they had with their neighbors and put the good of the people before their own. And they believed that their lives and what they had now belonged only to Allah. The Begawan's family opened their door to anyone who wanted to learn about religion and who sought advice and solution of their various problems. So, no wonder that the local people of their time regarded them as their role models and the respected elders of their community. But audience, after that, something happened to Bharata and this changed him drastically. He was no longer a helpful boy that everyone knew. Worse, now he was also prone to commit bad things that disrupting the harmony of community. At first, the Begawan and Devisri were not aware of this change, until one day the Begawan saw how Bharata treated the people who came for help. It was a poor man asking for charity, something to eat for his starved family. But Bharata not only harshly refused the man's plea, but also insulted him and got rid of him rudely. Surprised and upset, the Begawan immediately confronted Bharata, asking why he behaved that way. Bharata calmly answered that he had no business with such men and he just did and said what was right. Soon, the Begawan and Bharata was in an argument, each one of them believing that he was right. This argument was a starting point of many disagreements that grew bigger and bigger in time. And as the Begawan learned about the new Bharata from the people, resentment and frustration were thrown into the mix. He tried to hide his feelings about Bharata to his wife, not wanting to hurt her because he knew that Devisri loved her brother so much. Devisri finally noticed that her husband and her brother were not in good terms, but she felt helpless, so she didn't do anything. One day, the Begawan and Bharata was in another argument, and in his fury, the Begawan commanded Bharata to leave his home. A proud young man that he was, Bharata quickly packed his belongings. Devisri cried and begged Bharata to ask for the Begawan's forgiveness and stay. Of course, Bharata didn't heed his sister's plea. He just said that he was sorry, then quickly left the Begawan's house. The Devisri was angry, frustrated, and sad. She was also confused because she loved her husband and brother equally. She didn't know whether to stay with her husband or to run after her brother. But after some time thinking, she finally decided to leave, believing that her brother needed her more. The Begawan tried his best to persuade Devisri, but she already made her mind. In the end, Devisri left her husband to find her brother. Now, the saddened Begawan found himself alone. He tried to make sense of what happened and accept the fact that he no longer had a wife. And because of his guilt and his love to Devisri, the Begawan decided to live as a widower, or in Japanese term, a duda. And not long after that, the Begawan also left her home quest to find peace of mind. He wandered around the slope of Willis Mountain and stumbled upon tall, beautiful, and serene waterfall. After that, the Begawan decided to meditate under the waterfall. He wanted to ask the forgiveness from Allah. Soon, the local people found out about the Begawan meditating under the waterfall. The Begawan spent the remaining his life with meditate, but the strange thing is he never got old. He remained young and looked especially so at the beginning of month Muharram or Mansuro. Many people believed it was because the waterfall was blessed, so they came there to take a ritual bath with hope of obtaining the blessing and became forever young. They also believe that the most auspicious time for the ritual bath is the first of month Muharram. The waterfall was later named Sedudo in memory of the Begawan was a duda or a widower. Dear audience, this story became a beloved folklore among the people of Nganjuk. And every year on the first day of month Muharram, many people will come to Sedudo waterfall to engage the famous ritual bath that is known as Siraman Sedudo. And the local government does their best to make sure that such tradition will not vanish in many generations to come. Well, audience, that is the story of Sedudo Waterfall, a famous folklore from my hometown, Nganjuk, East Java. Okay, audience, thank you for your listening. See you next time and goodbye.
Thank you, Anna, for the great performance. Moving on to the second grand finalist, Dimas Nurhadi Zidayati from Diploma for Health Promotion Study Program.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. How are you today? Alhamdulillah. First of all, I want to say thank you to Allah who gave me time to follow English competition 2020. Salawat and salam to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The honorable judges of English competition 2020 and all of my friends, and I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dimas Harisidayati. You can call me Didim. I'm from study program D4 Health Promotion Polkesma, and today I'm going to deliver about the history of Tangkuban Perahu. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the history of Tangkuban Perahu. Once upon a time in West Java, there lived a king with his beautiful daughter. Her name was Dayang Sumi. Dayang Sumi was weaving very much. Yeah, every day she weaving and weaving. One day she weaving a cloth, but she lost her tools. She was very tired and lazy to take her tools. And after that, she shout out loud, "Anybody there? Anybody there? Bring me my tools. Please, I will give you a special present. If you are female, I will consider you as my sister. If you are male, I will marry you." And after that, the dog male come. Dog, yeah. The dog named as Tuma. Dayasumi was very surprised. She regret her words, but she could deny it. And after that, she marries Tuma and leave her father. They live in a small village. After several months, Dayasumi has a son. Yeah, her son name is Sangkuryang. Sangkuryang is healthy and handsome boy. I love him very much. When he go to the wood, Tumang always with him. One day, Dayang Sumbi need dear heart. Sangkuryang, will you hunt for deer today? Of course, Mom. Anything for you. Tumang, 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 let's go. Sangkuryang go to the wood for hunt. But after many time, Sangkuryang cannot find a deer. Oh God, where I can find a deer? I don't want to make my mom sad. Oh my God. Oh, I know. And after that, Sangkuryang called to Mom. To Mom? Yeah, Sangkuryang called and killed him. Sangkuryang don't know that Tumang as his father. He go home and take heart, Tumang heart to the mom. Sangkuryang, really, it's a dead heart. You can't lie to me. You can't lie to me. This is a Tumang heart. Why you kill him? Why? Sangkuryang leave his mom with a sadness. Many years passed and Sangkuryang become a strong young man. He wandered anywhere, everywhere. One day, he arrived to our village, but he didn't realize it. There, he met Dayang Sumbi. At the time, Dayang Sumbi was very, very, very beautiful because she given an eternal beauty by God. So, she stayed young forever. Both of them didn't know each other. So, they fell in love and then they decided to marry. But then Dayang Sumbi recognized on Sangkoryang's head. Sangkoryang, why there is scar in your head? Oh, when I was a child, my mom hit me in the head. Dayang Sumbi was very shocked. She noted Sangkoryang as her son. She told to Sangkoryang, Sangkoryang, I'm your mom. No, you lied to me. Impossible. Maybe my mom was dead. Okay, Sangkoryang, if you want to seriously marry me, I want you to make a leg and boot in one night. I need the leg and boot for our honeymoon. What? Impossible. Impossible, Sumbi, but only for you. I will give it. I can do it. The help of genius and spirit, Sangkoryang tried to build the leg and boot. By midnight, he had finished the leg by building in Citarum River. Then he started building the boot. Oh, it was almost done when he nearly finished. Dayang Sumbi was very, very worried about it. Yeah, he don't want to marry with her son. She very worried, and after that she made light in the east. Oh, Chops, stop your watch. Come on, it's already done. The sun will start to rise. Come on, go home, go home, said the captain of genius and birds. Sangkoryang, you can finish my condition, so we can marry. No, Dayang Sumbi, you cheat, you make the light. Because of that, my troops go, and I don't want to finish your condition. Sangkoryang was very angry, and after that, she kicked her boot. And the boot made a Tangkuban Perahu mountain. Okay, the moral message from this story is, don't lie to our parents and try to control our condition. I think that's all from me. I hope you can take a good lesson from the story. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.
Thank you, Dimas, for the amazing performance. Next video presentation from the third grand finalist, Saftia Indrianti from Diploma 3 Nursing Study Program.
Hello everyone, I'm Saftia Indrianti. Now I'm attending nursing diploma at Polkesma. Today I'd like to tell you a story about East Indonesian culture. You know Papua? Yes, it is one of the unique regions in Indonesia for its culture, people, and art. You know, the local people in East Java and Papua, Indonesia, usually have ceremony to worship the Holy Stone. Why we do that and who found it first? I'll tell you the story. In Java and Papua, there were two villages, namely Kambarama and Arompu. In Arompu plantation, there were several palms belonging to the god Iriwanawe. He also owned a tifa or magic drum named Sikere or Sawari. When the drum sounded, all of the people of Kambarama would gather in Arompu village. Every day, the women of Kambarama would go to Arompu in groups to cut off the sago trees. Over the time, the sago palm in Arompu were becoming scarcer. Seeing this, God Iriwanawe was very angry. He moved his hand to another area. And to run away from God Iriwanawe's wrath, The people of Gambarama migrated to coastal area and set up new residence named Randuayavi. There was, however, a couple remaining to stay upon the mountain with a cat Irawanawai. They were Irimiami and Isorai. For a living, they hauled the deer in the jungle and a plant tuber in their field. One day, they took a rest under shade trees. Irimiami sat on the ground with his back leaning on the tree and Isorai sat on a big stone next to him. Suddenly, Isorai shouted and jumped off the stone. "Ouch! The stone should burn!" she cried. "What's happening, my dears?" he asked. "I don't know, my husband. The stone suddenly burns," she said in panic. A moment later, a roll of smoke came out of the stone. Curiously, Irimiami tried to sit on the stone, but as he touched it and it sounded just like his wife. Then he had an idea to measure the stone height. He took the deer and put it on the stone. "What delicious meat!" she said. "My dear, try this," he shouted. Having tasted a little bit of it, she wanted more and more. The couple thought that the stone was very useful for them. They were getting greedier and greedier. Then they took a stem of the bamboo, grass, and dry leaves and tried to put them on the stone. Did you know what happened? Absolutely, they were burned and a very hot fire was coming out of it. "Oh my God! What we have to do, my husband? The place is burning down!" worried Israel. They tried to put out the fire. Desperately, they begged God Irawanawai for help. With a magical power, God Irawanawai extinguished the fire. But this time, the couple still did not find any value of life. They kept on testing the magical of the stone. They come back with more grasses, leaves, and now timber to put on the stone. As it can be predicted, there was a bigger smoke and a fire on the top of Mount Gambarama, combusting for 7 days and 7 nights. They were panicked and begged God Irawanawai to help them again, but he refused. After that, Randuayavi's people who were startled by the situation and heard the sound of samurai tribe. At once, they ran to the mountain and helped the couple to put out the fire. Since then, the couple realized their mistake and called the stone as Batu Keramat or the Holy Stone. Now, the local people believe that the stone was very sacred, and every year they hold a gathering and a worship to God as for blessing and mercy, as well as show their gratitude to God. They also hold a traditional feast as gathering event. From the story, we know that not being greedy, living together in harmony and unity, helping each other are very important to continue our life. That's all for me. Thanks for watching and goodbye.
Thank you for the great performance. Let's move on to the fourth grand finalist, Arnanda Nuryunita from Diploma 3 Nursing Study Program.
The old woman was sad, angry, and disappointed. She pointed her finger at the man and said, "If you really are not my son, then I wish for you to be safe." But if you're really my son, I wish for you to be turned into stone for being such an ungrateful son. Suddenly, the quiet sea was raging. Everything was flooding. The sky turned black as the storm and thunder kept raging. And suddenly, the man turned into a stone. Hello and greetings, everyone. My name is Arnanda Nurinita, and I want to ask you guys, do you guys know what was the title of the story I just tell you? I guess you all know about it. Well, it is always mentioned in children's storybook. Well, especially in Indonesian storybook. It is the story of Malin Kundang. Who doesn't know about Malin Kundang? And of course, if you guys know who is Malin Kundang is, you must know where does the story originated from. Now, in today's topic, I will tell you guys about the culture of Sumatra. First off, I would like to tell you about the bit of the history of Sumatra. Now, Sumatra was known as the island of gold. Why, you might ask? Well, because Sumatra was known for its rich gold resources in the past. Many people from China, from India, they all came to Sumatra for its gold resources. Thus, it is why it is called the Islands of Gold. Well, it wasn't really prominent again, but you can see it in Sumatra's traditional clothes for the brides. They all always wear this head accessories with golden all over it. And the clothes, they all have gold-like accessories. They kind of having the goldiest accessories rather than the most culture, thus showing how Sumatran still has it fun with the gold culture. Well, of course, aside from that, Sumatra, from its land, is also the 6th largest in the world and of course is one of the biggest in Indonesia. Well, let's go aside from the culture a bit. Let's talk about the food. We all know what is the most favorite food in Indonesia. It ever reached the rank of the 11th most delicious food in the world out of 15. Well, according to the CNN survey, it is rendang. Rendang was one of the many cuisine from Sumatra. Sumatran cuisine was always known for its rich flavor with rich ingredients and also really spicy. And of course, you cannot forget about the coconut milk. But of course, this cuisine is not for everyone. I mean, elderly and people with high cholesterol problems, of course, they can eat that. I'm sorry, but you have to maintain your diet and nutritional balance. And lastly, I think it's more about the people of Sumatra itself. I have met 3 people from Sumatra. One is from Palembang, one is from Padang, and one is from Lampung. Before I dive into a bit of them, I would like to tell about the stereotypes. Sumatran are always seen as rude or stingy or prone to anger, etc. And these stereotypes can be a bit harmful. And especially they are known to have always bicker with the Javanese, like me, like maybe some of you. And that's the reason why the Javanese and the Sumatra wasn't really in good terms sometimes. But in reality, they are not so much different from us. Well, yeah, sure, they can be a bit calculated with the finances, but that's because it's for their future. They know. They're not actually stingy, but they are really, really calculative, which I really appreciate it. And for the rude part, I don't think it's their personality, but rather on their accent. Like you see, my teacher from the Padang one, her accent was a bit well high, but that's because that's how people talk in Padang, I assume. And that's okay. She's actually really nice. She has a really good personality. She's really religious. That doesn't really mean anything to the stereotypes. And I think people should really change about the stereotypes regarding to Sumatran or anything else. We really shouldn't judge people based on stereotypes just because they're outside of our circle. Well, I think that's all for today that I can talk about the culture of Sumatra. Personally, I might met this three person. I haven't talked about the other one, but yeah, it's just for references. I personally never been to Sumatra before, but I wish I could to see this another beautiful part of Indonesia. That's all for today, and I hope this video will entertain you all. And see you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you for the amazing performance. Moving on to our last grand finalist, Cecil Merane Sinta from Diploma 3 Nursing Study Program.
Nang mana batis kutung dikiti bidawang, nang mana batis kutung dikiti bidawang. Wait, do you know what is the song now? Where does the song come from? Well, talking about Indonesian culture is endless, from Sabang to Merauke, from Weh Island to Rote Island. They must have their own unique culture. The lyric is part of Ambar-Ambar Pisang song that comes from South Kalimantan. This song was composed by Hamidan and remains popular today. Who hasn't heard the Ambar-Ambar Pisang song? We need to know that this song also has a story of its own. The lyrics of Ambar-Ambar Pisang song tell about the culture of the local community when making a typical South Kalimantan food called rimpi, using the word ampar-ampar because the cake is slapped or arranged until it is very ripe, even rotten. After that, the bananas are dried in the sun until they almost harden and give off a sweet aroma, so that inviting many small animals called bari-bari. There is a unique story in the Ambar-Ambar Pisang song. At that time, many children were playing fun and trying to steal the bananas that were drying in the sun. Friends, look at that bananas. What the poor bananas look like overheated, said a child to his friend. Oh, do we have to take it? What a pity! Another child said with a sad face. Come on! They walked over to the bananas that were drying in the sun. Suddenly, hey kids! A woman screamed, took them by surprise. If you dare to take the banana, then you will be bitten by a monitor lizard, and you know the taste, said the woman. Therefore, the lyrics of Nang mana batis kutung dikiti pidawang were feared by the children because Dikiti Bidang means being bitten by a monitor lizard. In addition, Ampar-Ampar Pisang is a song that has a moral message for children. They are taught to be patient as the process of making a rimpi cake that quite difficult and takes a long time. Every goal in our life always requires a lot of process and sacrifice. We have to be patient and pray a lot for everything we are working on. And rest assured that everyone has their own time to reach their goals. And one more thing I want to say. We will protect it. We will preserve Indonesian culture, no matter where they come from. We are all Indonesian generations who must be proud and will never leave our culture. Okay, everybody, for the closing of my story, let's sing this song together. Ampar-ampar pisang, pisangku belum masak. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari. Masak sabigi di hurung bari-bari.
That was a great performance. Now we will entering feedback session. Every judges have 5 minutes for giving any feedbacks to 5 participants. Maybe we could start from Miss Irka Maharani.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I have watched very beautiful performance from 5 different campuses, and actually, from the storytelling judges, we have discussed that we will divide them. We will divide ourselves to give the the feedback, and I will focusing on Saftia and Bu Widi, Ma'am Widi, and also Pak Zainal will give the feedback for others. Okay, hello Saftia, and actually I really like the lovely feather on your head, and it is very beautiful. And actually for your performance overall, that's very good. And you have also a very good expressions while delivering your storytelling, and also I also make some notes, actually just a little bit notes. Please be noticed again with some mispronounced word because maybe you forgot it, because sometimes you forgot to pronounce the ed in the last ed in the last word, because if the word finals by d or t, you should read the ed like planted or decided or something like that. Maybe you just forgot it because the rest of them you already give a good pronunciations. Okay, I think that's from me. Thank you, Rizky.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Miss Ika.
Thank you, Ms. Irka, for the feedback. Moving on to the second judges, maybe Mr. Muhammad Zainal Abidin.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, moderator. Miss the first line of Armanda performance because problems in my laptop, so I need to switch to my mobile phone. But I have enjoyed all the videos performed. First, congratulations for all your grand finalists. And for the storytelling, we really enjoy your story and the way or the performance you presented through the videos. And it's really interesting, entertaining, and insightful because we got some lessons from the story. I like to give some feedbacks for Arnanda and Cecil. And for the beginning, I like to start from opening or closing because it's very important. As attention getter, the opening help audience build what is called illumination, triggering in the listener's mind, and it could later on anticipate the story in the listener's mind, the story presented. And this is very nicely done by both of the performers, Amanda and Cecil, and I believe all the performance previously. And for the closing, I like the way you grab all the story. We all like the stories. Humans like stories, and it even more when when the storyteller leaves something in the listener's mind about insightful messages or moral lessons, because we believe experience or story is the best teachers, and they're really useful in our life. And all of you have done great about these sections. And through the content, all the story are quite well arranged. We can still catch the opening, the climax, the conflict, even the resolutions and the final resolutions, all the characteristics needed in the narrative text as usual. And only one candidate, yeah, which is really different, that is Ananda. It's very challenging for the judges to give some points or maybe some educational information because Ananda is giving a portion of a story of Malingkundang in the beginning. It's to start a story, and later on she give information describing or expository in the form of essay, and it's quite different from other contestants. And as you know, Ananda, first it talk about geography and demographic features of Sumatran people, and later on she talks about Sumatran people, about its characteristic, culture, and language. But I do really like Ananda's English. In short, about the delivery, voice, pace, intonation, volume, and pitch. And in short, it is how your English sound literally true English for the listener. Both of you are good, but Ananda, you really did well in this section. All after all, I'll thank you for, that's all for my feedback. Good done for all the grand finalists, and you have done a great job today. Thank you for my missing in the first line because of the technical problem. Thank you. Back to moderator.
Thank you, Mr. for giving the feedbacks. And last for our awesome judges, Ms. Hastirin Widyastuti. 5 minutes from now, the time is yours.
Okay, thanks a lot. But first of all, I would like to show this to all committee of this special event. It's nothing without your hard effort. Everything is possible because of the hard work of the committee. And another appreciation also has to all judges. Yeah, all judges for making the assessment possible. And this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second time I participate in this event. It was around 3 or 4 years ago when Health Polytechnic of Malang did the same event as well. Okay, so stated by Mbak Irka, we already assessment into 3 parts, and my portion will be for the first and the second content, Mbak Ana and Mbak Dimas. So what a wonderful presentation. I would say that was awesome. That was gorgeous. That was one of the effort to preserve Indonesian cultures in the sense that the represented area of Java, the most eastern part of Indonesia, which is Papua, not to mention Sumatra and Borneo, were perfectly represented by this storytelling by all the participants. So starting from first contestant, story about, what do you call that? Sedudo Waterfall. Okay, representative area of East Java. I would say that the starting point of Mbak Ana or the first contestant made has demonstrated a very good introduction in the sense that it has a very good introductory part by grabbing the audience's attentions by saying that not only does this tourism object become the local or spatial appeal of tourism object, but it also has the cultural preservation. If I'm not mistaken, it's an annual celebrations of Nganjuk area. I think this is a very good introduction to attract our attentions. Yeah. The second thing by the next phase, the next point by Mbak Dimas, which was about Tangkuban Perahu. It may be too short for her to make an introduction of what Tangkuban Perahu is. I guess it's a kind of contradicts. The introduction be too short. Yeah, she may not be successful in grabbing the audience attentions because of too short introduction. However, the first phase of the introduction giving us another, what is that, another point, yeah, another point by the second contestant by giving questions to us whether are you still curious about Tangkuban Perahu, and this is very successful actually to what is that, to make another focus for the audiences. That's for the introductions. For the language, yeah, for the language of two contestants, let me say that, well, the structures of the grammar of the language were naturally delivered by two contestants with some flexibility of basic and complex sentences by both presenters. That's for the use of grammar. Yeah, another point is that pronunciation. Yeah, both presenters show a positive features of pronunciation. Both have something in common. Some positive features of pronunciation were debated. That's for the language. And then another point is that the delivery of the language. Yeah. Those presenters demonstrate an easy way of following the content of the storytelling. The characters were strongly depicted, allowing us to understand the overall story of the overall story. And closing, I think Anna, the first presenters, has successfully made a very good closing for the presentations. Why? Because there is a point of recommendation or suggestion given by the first contestant by emphasizing on the importance of preserving local tradition of area. Yeah, that may not be found in the second context. So it would have been better. It would have been jumped into the closing. Yeah, there should be something that she should have in for coming to the closing. Yeah, okay. So that's my assessment for the two first presenters, and I really appreciate this opportunity given to me, given to us, given to judges, and special appreciation given the all committee of this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marie, for the feedback. And by the end of the feedback session, it's also wrap up our event today. Thank you for all the judges, the feedback, and the awesome performance from all the grand finalists of Polkesma English Competition 2020. And it is such a pleasure and a nice opportunity for me to lead this event. And I would like to say good luck to all the grand finalists. That's all from me, and I'll give it back to Yoka.
Terima kasih kepada moderator yang telah memandu jalannya perlombaan dengan baik. Terima kasih kepada Dewan Juri dan juga peserta yang telah berpartisipasi pada kegiatan hari ini. Acara selanjutnya yakni tampilan video hiburan yang akan dipersembahkan oleh pemenang lomba Sparkling Millennial Sport and Art Competition 2020.
Politeknik Kesehatan Polkesma. Buktikan semangatmu agar selalu bisa berikan yang terbaik. Kuatkan hatimu untuk selalu maju. Kuatkan hatimu untuk selalu bisa. Yakinkan dirimu untuk yang terbaik. Di sini di Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes. Politeknik Kesehatan Kemenkes
Generasi muda Polkesma, jadilah insan yang penuh pesona. Tunjukkan pada dunia kita bisa
Telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
Mimpi adalah kunci untuk kita menaklukkan dunia. Berlarilah tanpa lelah sampai engkau meraihnya. Laskar pelangi takkan terikat waktu. Bebaskan mimpimu di angkasa, warnai bintang di jiwa. Menarilah dan terus tertawa, walau dunia tak seindah surga. Bersyukurlah pada yang kuasa, cinta kita di dunia selamanya. Cinta kepada hidup memberikan senyuman abadi. Walau hidup kadang tak adil, tapi cinta lengkapi kita. Laskar pelangi takkan terikat waktu. Jangan berhenti mewarnai jutaan mimpi di bumi. Menarilah dan terus tertawa, walau dunia tak seindah surga. Bersyukurlah pada yang kuasa, cinta kita di dunia. Menarilah dan terus tertawa, walau dunia tak seindah surga. Bersyukurlah pada yang kuasa, cinta kita di dunia selamanya. Selamanya. Laskar pelangi takkan terikat
membuatku tidur untuk memikirkanmu pujaan hati. Oh kamu cantik sekali.
Tuhan, aku hanya ingin dia tahu, kamu lucu, kamu sangat lucu. Mungkin inilah rasanya, rasa suka pada dirinya. Sejak pertama aku bertanya, Facebookmu apa, nomormu berapa, nomormu berapa.
Mungkin inilah rasanya, cinta pada pandang pertama. Senyuman manismu itu buat aku dagdikduk malu. Kamu, 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 kamu. Kamu, 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 kamu. Mungkin inilah rasanya, cinta pada pandang pertama. Senyuman manismu itu buat aku dagdikduk melulu.
Kepada seluruh audiens, dikarenakan masih ada penjurian dari Dewan Juri, untuk saat ini kami beri waktu untuk diperkenankan apabila akan sholat ataupun yang lainnya, nanti bisa kembali lagi pada saat pukul 12.00. Jika tidak, tetap di sini juga tidak masalah karena bisa tetap menyaksikan video-videonya. Terima kasih.
Aku pengen aku sampai jadi juri. Kita mahasiswa, kita bersama, kita sejiwa, satu langkah, satu rasa, untuk Polkes tercinta, membangun semangat untuk majukan negeri kita, buktikan pada dunia kita memanglah berbeda. Uji tombak kesehatan Indonesia. kesehatan untuk gapai semangat bersama pengorbanan sebagai pahlawan bidang kesehatan Politeknik Kesehatan Polkesma mencetak unggul tenaga kesehatan cinta dan semangat bersama kita semua pengorbanan sebagai pahlawan bidang kesehatan dalam pengabdian semua pengorbanan sebagai pahlawan bidang kesehatan Generasi muda Polkesma, jadilah insan yang penuh pesona, tunjukkan pada dunia kita bisa
Walau jalan pernah dilewati, meski ada kecewa, aku yang dulu tak begitu lagi, takkan ku ulangi.
Jangan duluan kabar balik, beriku kesempatan. Oh, aku ingin dirimu menjadi milikku, bersamaku mulai hari baru, ruang untuk cinta yang lain. Lupakan dia, pergi denganku,
Lupakanlah ragu denganku.
aku ingin dirimu tak jadi milik. Jangan ulangi ragu, bersamaku mulai hari baru, ruang untuk cinta yang lain.
Ku ingin diri
Aku ingin dirimu
menjadi milik.
separuh jauh denganku,
Bersamaku mulai hari ini,
ya ruang untuk cinta yang lain. Layak untuk cantik untuk aku.
Kau bisa patahkan kakiku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Kau bisa lumpuhkan tanganku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku.
Kau bisa merebut senyumku, tapi sungguh tak akan lama. Kau bisa merobek hatiku, tapi aku tahu obatnya. Manusia bersyakwan, itu kita, jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita, manusia bersyakwan, itu kita, jiwa-jiwa yang kuat. Itu kita, kau bisa bukan putihku, kau takkan gelapkan apapun. Kau bisa bukan jalanku,
Seluruh jalan pernah dilewati, meski ada kecewa. Aku yang dulu tak begitu lagi, takkan ku ulangi.
Jangan dulu engkau berbalik, beriku kesempatan. Oh, aku ingin dirimu menjadi milikku, bersamaku mulai hari baru, yang ruang untuk cinta yang lain. Lupakan dia, pergi denganku,
Lupakanlah ragu denganku. Aku Aku ingin dirimu
tak jadi milikku, ulangi ragu,
bersamaku mulai hari baru,
yang ruang untuk cinta yang lain.
ku ingin dirimu. Aku ingin dirimu menjadi milikku, separuh jauhku denganku, bersamaku mulai hari ini, yang ruang untuk cinta yang lain.
Layak untuk cantikmu untuk aku.
Dan sampailah kita pada saat yang ditunggu-tunggu, yakni pengumuman pemenang Polkesma English Competition 2020. Pengumuman pertama dari cabang lomba oratori. Juara 3 cabang lomba oratori diraih oleh Muhammad Khairul Muadib dari D4 Promosi Kesehatan. Juara 2 cabang lomba oratori diraih oleh Anastasia Rosalia dari D4 K3. Dan inilah juara 1 cabang lomba oratori diraih oleh, kami ucapkan selamat kepada Atita Nur Robi Firdaus dari D3 Ana Farma. Kami ucapkan selamat kepada para pemenang, semoga bisa bermanfaat untuk kedepannya, terus berprestasi dan terus berkarya. Selanjutnya dari cabang News Anchor. Juara 3 cabang lomba News Anchor diraih oleh Puspita Yuninda Dewi dari D3 Keperawatan Trenggalek. Juara 2 cabang lomba News Anchor diraih oleh Dinar Eka Safitri dari D4 Promosi Kesehatan. Dan inilah juara 1 cabang lomba News Anchor diraih oleh selamat kepada Milna Fitria Mahmuda dari Sarjana Terapan Keperawatan Malang. Kami ucapkan selamat kepada para pemenang. Dan yang terakhir dari cabang lomba Storytelling. Juara 3 cabang lomba Storytelling diraih oleh Seftia Indriyanti dari D3 Keperawatan Trenggalek. Juara 2 cabang lomba Storytelling diraih oleh Arnanda Nuryunta dari D3 Keperawatan Malang kelas Lawang. Dan inilah juara 1 cabang lomba Storytelling diraih oleh, kami ucapkan selamat kepada Sesi Meindra Sinta dari D3 Keperawatan Blitar. Kami ucapkan selamat kepada para pemenang. Semoga bisa bermanfaat untuk kedepannya, terus berprestasi dan terus berkarya. Alhamdulillah, sampailah kita di penghujung acara. Sebelum kita mengakhiri acara, marilah kita ucapkan hamdalah bersama-sama. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Karena telah menyelesaikan acara ini dengan hikmat dan lancar. Demikian rangkaian acara Grand Final Polkesma English Competition 2020. Saya, Yoga Dwi Kemadani selaku pembawa acara dan mewakili seluruh rekan-rekan yang bertugas hari ini undur diri. Dan mohon maaf apabila terdapat banyak kesalahan. Sekian dan terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih untuk para peserta yang sudah hadir dalam ruang Zoom ini dan juga honorable judges yang sudah menyempatkan untuk menilai masing-masing dari kontestan.
Makasih juga buat panitia.
Ya, Memeka, sama-sama.
Sukses ya.
Amin.
Terima kasih panitia, selamat sukses untuk semua. Izin live dulu ya.
Iya, Ibu Sri, terima kasih banyak.
Kita ada di sini untuk berikan yang terbaik, menjadi bagian generasi hebat, generasi kuat.
Kita akan mengukir prestasi, buktikan kita adalah yang terhebat untuk menjadi kebanggaan bagi semua.
Kuatkan hatimu untuk selalu bisa, yakinkan dirimu untuk yang terbaik.
Di sini
Kemenkes Malang. Kuatkan hatimu untuk selalu bisa. Yakinkan dirimu untuk yang terbaik. Di sini, di Politeknik Kesehatan. Di sini, di Politeknik